I've got a few things that we're going to talk about today. There's a few things that I'd like to talk about. Whether we get to them or not, I have no idea. The last time we got together on Wednesday, I had a whole agenda, and we never got a chance to get to any of them. And that is, quite honestly, quite okay, because it was a lovely conversation. But today we're talking about being we're talking about being a good community, a loving community. Yesterday, and when I put this video out, I'll include in the comments, when I chop this part of the video out, I'll include a link to a video. Anyhow, yesterday, a friend from the channel, they sent me a video of some churches in Florida. So there's a fella, he does videos where he stirs the pot. He wants to see what will happen if he does something in particular. And so he was standing outside of a bunch of churches on the sidewalk, right? On the public space, on the sidewalk. He's very aware of where he is. He's very aware of what he's doing. And he just likes to push people's buttons. He wants to see how they will respond. And so in this particular video, he was seeing how churches would respond to him being on the corner, holding a sign that said, "God bless the homeless veterans," something along those lines. And as people went past him, he was yelling out, "God bless the homeless veterans, God bless the homeless veterans, God bless the homeless veterans." And he may have been panhandling, which I didn't know is a constitutionally protected activity. It's a form of freedom of speech that you're asking for help, and nobody can be stopped from asking for help, which is kind of cool. I didn't know that. So he's on the street. He's public space. God bless the homeless veterans. And I'm not sure in the video if he's asking people for financial help or not. Doesn't really matter. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, that he is. Again, not on church property, on public property. Almost without fail. A couple of guys come out from the church. "Hey there, friend. How you doing? Hope everything's going well. God bless you." And I'll just paraphrase. "You got to move. Nobody wants you here." One of the excuses that was used over and over again by the men, and you do use the quotation marks, men, because I'm not sure they are men in my books, but these men who come out, "You're upsetting the ladies. You're upsetting the ladies of the church. They don't like seeing you out here. It's bothering them. It's bothering them that you're out here. And so we need you to move. And we need you to move. And we need you to move." And he, hey, not rude, but he says, no, thank you. "No, I'm good. I'm good where I am." And they would escalate. "Well, you're not going to move for us? How come you're not going to move for us? We just need you to move. We need you to move. We don't want to see you. We don't want you to be here. We want you to be down the road. There's better places down the road. You'd be doing us a huge favor if you'd be, man, you don't want to do," that was one of the great lines, "man, you don't want to do us a favor?" "No, I don't. I'm going to stand right here," he would say. And probably 75% of the time, they'd call a police officer, and the police would show up. And when the police showed up, they would say, "Man, they want you to move." And he'd say, "I'm on public property." And they would say, "Yep, you're right. Can't do anything about this." And they would go in and they would tell the church, "Can't do anything about this." And then that video would leave and they would go to the next church. Or, the video would jump to the next church. He did this, oh man, it must have been 6, 7, 8 times. It's really painful. It's really, really painful. As the minister of a church watching that, it is really stinking painful. And it's especially painful as the minister of a church where I'm not able to help people all the time. And I don't mean that as a cop-out, but the truth is we get a lot of people in and out of the doors. We get phone calls all the time. We get requests from all sorts of different groups. And the parish here, long before I got here, they realized that their neighborhood, our neighborhood, isn't one that you see a lot of. You see a lot of people who are looking for financial assistance. And so what they do is we send all of our financial assistance out to other organizations who help people. and even to other churches. We donate to food banks at sister churches and things like that. But we still do get people asking for help. And a lot of times, the people who call here, the help they're looking for is, like, it's pretty major. I mean, I've been asked for thousands of dollars because somebody's behind with their rent so far, and they're going to get thrown out if they don't. And I've had people show up at my door at the house at 2:00 in the morning, at 4:00 in the morning, at 6:00 in the morning. I had a person show up one time in 2 feet of snow. We had a major snowstorm. They showed up in 2 feet of snow, needing assistance to get to Antigonish, which is like 2.5 hours away from here. And they were going to take a cab because they had to pick up somebody to do a funeral. I'm not saying all these requests are above board. I'm just saying we get a lot of requests, and it is heartbreaking when you just don't have the resources to help out. So I'm watching these churches, and it's not that they're saying we don't have the resources to help you. It's just they're saying we don't want to look at you. You're harsh in our mellow. You're wrecking our buzz here. You know, you're ruining our day. Just your presence in this place is really, really bothering us. There's no sense. And, you know, I mean, a couple of them say, you know, if you're interested in coming in, you can come in, but we want you to leave here. We don't want to see you out here. We don't want to see your sign, blessed, God bless homeless veterans. We don't want to see that. Now, they never talk about really why. They don't get into sharing their feelings as to how his sign makes them feel and why it is they're asking him. I mean, the deep reasons why. I mean, the understanding, it's the ladies in the church are being upset by this. Got it. But we don't know why they're upset. They just don't want to look at him. They don't want him there. Now, I say this, and God bless him, the person who put the video out, because the very first video, well, it gives us something to shoot for. This guy comes out, hey, I'm pastor such and such at this church. And the guy's like, yeah, what can I do for you? And he says, I'm actually out. Is there something we can do for you? Church service about to get started about a half hour. There's water, there's bathrooms inside if you need them. We've got a food bank in there. Tells them all the services that they offer. Like services, I mean, as the ways that they could help him, that they offer, and all the ways that they're willing to help him, and asking if he needs anything. Can I get you anything? Like he's really, really super, super kind and wonderful and gentle. And I go, I've often said to you, oh, that's who I want to be when I grow up. That's the guy. All right, that's the Christian. That's the pastor I want to be. That's the pastor I strive to be. That's the type of Christian we should all be striving to be more like, at least in that encounter. I mean, the guy could be an absolute monster off this camera, but in that encounter, what makes the video, the guy is, you just want to kiss him right in the face. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being such a wonderful example. Thank you for challenging us, by showing us in flesh and blood, or at least on YouTube, what it looks like. What it looks like to have an encounter like this. Now, it's so easy. Folks, it is so easy for us. By the end of this video, I was ready to punch somebody. It was so easy for me just to get upset with the way all of these, and it was men mostly, how all of these men were dealing with him. It was so easy for me to say, right? You can feel it. That's not Christ. That's not Christ. That's not how this is supposed to be. You're completely self-centered. You're completely looking at your own needs. You're ignoring everything that this guy represents on the corner of your property. You're completely missing the fact that this is exactly who Jesus calls us to serve. And it's so easy for me just to get angry and just to be dismissive of churches. And it's so easy for me just to, that's those kinds of churches, and it had all the names of the church and the type of church. And I'll tell you, there was a few of those churches I was really, really super disappointed in, because it surprised me that their name was on there, that they called the cop on him, that they called the police on this guy. There was a couple I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, they got a reputation. But there was a few others you're like, oh, no, that's not who you are. That's not who you're supposed to be. I know who you... No. It is really, really easy for us to get down on people. It's really, really, really easy for us to get disappointed. It's really, really, really easy for us to just, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Right? It's really easy for us to stop looking for the good apple in a barrel full of rotten apples. It's so easy for us just to go, that's it. That's what Christians are like. Can't be that easy. It can't be as easy as saying, that's why I don't go to church. I'd love it if we could say, and that's why I'm going to build the right church. Right? That's why I'm going to build the church that Jesus would have me build. That's why I'm going to help my church become the church that Jesus would ask us to be. But that one guy amongst all these others, he's enough. We just need that one example to strive for. We just need the one example to strive for. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to strive for that. That's the guy. I got to be like that guy. It's a lot of work. And the way we're wired, we're not wired to look for the positive, right? We're wired to pay attention to the negative sometimes. And we're wired to at least I am, the critical brain, right? Oh, that's how they got it wrong. It's easy for us to sit back and I can take notes and say, okay, these are all the different ways they got it wrong. But that one guy got it right. That one guy got it right, and that is good not because 1 in 9 got it right. That's just awful statistics. But it's good because we can learn from the one. And we can learn from the others. We can learn what not to do, but we can learn what doing the right thing looks like. And we can rejoice in the light that man shone into the world by doing the right thing. And we can rejoice that he was willing to do it. We can rejoice that there are people out there who are trying to live that life. A piece of scripture that I learned, and I think it's in Hebrews. I'm pretty sure it's in the letter to the Hebrews in the New Testament. This one passage, and it's just coming to my brain now that I want to share it with you, or I would have looked it up. I would have put it on the screen. But there's this one passage where the author, he says something along the lines of, you don't know when an angel visits. Right? The person in front of you may indeed be an angel. They may be sent by God. But the person in front of you have no idea. They may be a heavenly visitor. You should treat them like that. You should treat every person that you encounter like a heavenly visitor, because you just don't know. And I wonder if that gentleman at the beginning of that video, who offers assistance and who offers support and who offers encouragement and who says, God bless you, as the other guy, the content creator, says, bless you. I wonder if when he went out to that sidewalk on public property to engage with this content creator, this guy who was testing these churches, and the police who were eventually called. I wonder if that pastor went out I wonder if he went out wondering, am I about to encounter an angel? I wonder if he went out thinking, I may be about to encounter an angel, so I'm going to be on my best. I'm going to do my best. For what it's worth, that'd be a lovely way for us to approach the stranger. It'd be a lovely way for us to approach the unknown, with an assumption, the assumption that this is a divine visitor sent to us by God, I don't like the idea that God tests us, but maybe sent to us by God so that we would have an opportunity in that moment to practice being Christ. Amen.